This tutorial is for absolute beginners. Hi everyone, my name is Robert and today I'm gonna talk about the Blender user interface, how it looks like and where you can find the tools you want to use for your projects. But first of all, we have to download the Blender application. So you have to go to blender.org and download the latest version, which is this 5.2 LTS. After that, in order to launch it, of course, you need to install into your PC. You launch the Blender software and you can see now it's unsaved. I have the previous versions and in order to save it, go to File and save it into your folder where you want to put it, your project. So let's see the basic interface of Blender. So first of all, on the top menu bar, we have, of course, the file where you can save, you can import, export any other files if you want. We have the edit menu. In the preferences you can add, for example, add-ons as well if you want to, and of course we have the render menu, window, and the help as well. These menus, called workspaces, each and every workspace have different toolbars. So on the left side we have the toolbars. On the layout toolbar we have options for moving, rotating, scaling, whatever. In the modeling, of course, we have different kind of toolbars, scaling, beveling, adding loop cuts. For the sculpting, if you want to modify this default cube, and of course we have UV editing and shading, which is good to add materials to our scene or to our default cube. Let's just talk about the editors. The biggest window now is the 3D viewport. So these are the editor types which is available for us. So it's a lot of editors. We have image editor, UV editor, shaded editor, and so on. Timeline is good to make, for example, animations. So this is the 3D viewport, which is the biggest one. These are the top menus for our workspace, which is the 3D viewport now. We have the object, edit mode, sculpting mode. So if we click on this 3D object, which is a default cube, and we hit the tab key, the edit mode, we can edit our cube, but the basic modeling is going to be a different topic. And of course, we have this view option, select option, where you can select each and every item in the 3D viewport. We have the add option and the object option as well. You can see here we have the orientation. Now we have the global, but we can choose which one we want. We are going to use these orientations when we practice the modeling in Blender. After, you can see here the snapping options, so you can choose options and features here: increment, vertex snapping, edge, face, volume, and here we have the proportional editing option. Let's move to the right side. On the right side we have the gizmo types. So if we untick these move options, from the default cube it disappears the orientation, the X, Y, and Z arrows. If you want to use the rotate options, you have the same colors for each orientation. So let's just leave it to the move option. The viewport overlays you have here, you can switch it off the floor. You can see it disappears the grid. You can hide the axis if you want, but I think it's very useful to have those axes, the X, Y, and Z. You can hide the 3D cursor, which is in the middle here, and there is many options here. But these are mainly advanced options for modeling and editing in Blender. You have here the X-ray, where it's good to see through our object which is behind, so it's very useful. After, we have this option which is the wireframe. You have the other one which is the solid view, and of course you have the material preview if you want to render the scene, material preview, and of course we have the viewport shading for rendering, because in Blender you can render and make animations. Then there is two options for rendering, the Eevee and the cycles. This is the gizmo where you can rotate the object. Of course we can use this zoom in and out just by moving the mouse. We have these panning options over here, camera view, just switching on and off into the camera view, and if you want to change from perspective to orthographic mode, you can do that as well. So this is the 3D viewport window, which which is an editor type, and you can choose from here if you want to change this big window into any other editor types. But mainly if we are modeling, we use this 3D viewport editing type. On the right side, we have these two small windows. The first one is the outliner, where we can organize our items in the 3D viewport. So you can see now we have 3 items, which is highlighted: the camera, the default cube, and on the top we have this light, which good to have in our scene. So you can adjust the size of our window. On the bottom, so this one is the properties editor. You have the options to modify and add a lot of things to our scene. Here you can see we have the rendering properties, we have the output properties, the modifiers, and materials as well. So we can cover this topic later in our tutorial. So if we want to add another window, try to hover our mouse cursor in the corner, and now you can see cross-shaped cursor, and just click on that, go to the top and divide the window, and we can see now we have another editor type. If we want to make, for example, materials to this cube, we have to choose here to the shader editor, and now we have another window here which we can use and work on. And if we want to make it disappear, make the 3D viewport as the same before, just click on that, and now you have a different kind of options, the arrow showing down, and this one is disappeared. So if we want to make it bigger, we have the code sidebar, where we can see the item transformation, location, rotation, scale, and dimensions, for example, to our default cube. And we have tools, viewport properties as well. We can use shortcut key, the N, to hide and unhide this sidebar. So thank you very much.